Hey there, I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate.
And today we're taking a look at OT Fantasy Draft by Funhill Games.
OT Fantasy Draft is a card drafting game that is coming to Kickstarter here in the near future. And so after you watch our video, make sure to check out that Kickstarter campaign by visiting the link down below in the description of this video. This is a game in which you are going to be drafting different characters from the Old Testament. Each character has their own special ability that's going to affect the way they score. There's not only characters though, there are items and locations that are found in the the Old Testament. This is a game in which everything is very thematic and very fun in the way that it all plays out. Let's take a look at it down below. We'll show you how it works, and then we'll come back and share our thoughts on this as a gamer and non-gamer. All right, here's OT Fantasy Draft from Funhill Games on the table. And I do want to start by letting you guys know that everything you see here is prototype, so the final artwork and components may look different when it is released from the Kickstarter. That being said, this is a very simple game, very simple. Let me show you how this game is going to work. You've got a deck of cards here that are going to be consistent of a bunch of characters, things, and locations from the Old Testament. And all players are going to be dealt 2 cards face down. You'll choose one to keep, discarding the other. That will get shuffled back into the deck, and then you're ready to begin. And how this game works, you are simply going to have 5 cards out here in the middle, and the starting player is going to draft first. And you can see that you're going to have different suits, different things on the cards, and you're going to have a number of points there at the top of the card, a specific rule that applies to that character, and those rules are likely going to have different effects on other cards that you will come across throughout the course of the game. And whenever a player drafts a card, they will simply take it, place it in front of their playing area like so, and that card is immediately replaced with a new card, and the next player will draft. And when it gets to the last player, you won't refill the card that they take, you will simply clear the board, and you'll put out 5 new cards, and the player who drafted last in the previous round will draft first, and you will go in reverse player order for that round. And that is going to continue until you are with a full team of 7 cards, and then you will score the cards. So let me show you what some of the cards will do. So for instance, you have Goliath here, and each card is going to tell you what type of card it is. This is a regular person, and down here you can see that he has the man keyword, and that's important because it says all men except David and Goliath have no rules. They are silenced. So whatever is on the bottom of their cards are going to not apply. But you do get plus 8 points for each person that you silence. But keep in mind, it's only the men because there are some women in the game. There are also things and locations. And this card would give you 12 basic points plus whatever you'd get from the bottom at the end of the game. And then there is Samson. Samson is a man. He destroys grain, lions, Philistia, and the temple. And he gets 20 plus points for each card that he destroys. So there's Samson. And speaking of Philistia, there's Philistia right there. It's worth 8 points. It's a location, as you can see. And pay attention to the artwork here. You can see there's a football field in the background. And so there is a football draft theme to this card drafting game. How about that? Pretty clever. And the rule for this one, it says plus 8 for each boat, Goliath, or sea. So if we had the Goliath card, this would give us an extra 8 points because Goliath was from Philistia. How about that? There's fruit in the game. This is a thing. It's worth 9 points, and this particular one says food. When drafted, you may choose to give fruit to another player. If so, randomly take one of that player's drafted cards. Here's a couple of more examples. We've got Job. He's worth 15 points, and he destroys all things. How about that? They're very thematic because Job lost everything. Then you have Jonah. He's a prophet. We've not seen one of those cards yet. There are a lot of prophets in the game. He is worth 6 points, and he protects all against fire and famine because, well, he was a prophet, and he prophesied Nineveh to turn away, or they would be destroyed by fire and famine. Plus 6 for each boat, fish, or sea. And how about that? There's a boat right there. It's a thing. It's worth 6 points. And it says protects one person or animal from being destroyed. Protects all people and animals when with Noah. And so you can protect the cards that you draft from being destroyed, because if you don't protect them and they are destroyed by one of your cards that you've drafted, or perhaps a card that an opponent has drafted, then you're going to lose that card and you're not going to score it, unless you've protected it with a boat or something else perhaps. You add up all your points at the end of the game, and whoever has the most is going to be the winner. To give you an idea of how the scoring might look, here's an example of a game that I played not too long ago, and how the scoring looked with my particular drafts. And you might end up drafting more than the number of cards that you set out at the beginning of the game, depending on certain circumstances that might happen. Anyhow, that is OT Fantasy Draft. Let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this one. All right, we're back, and now we're going to share our gamer and non-gamer thoughts on OT Fantasy Draft and let you know how it works with non-gamers. So Sam, we've played some of Funhill Games games before. All of them are Bible-based games. This is going to be one that is obviously based off of Old Testament characters, locations, items, that sort of thing. Tell me about your initial thoughts getting this on the table and seeing it.
I think I was a little worried that you would have to have a lot of knowledge to play this game, and that's just not the case. I mean, you don't have to know anything about the Old Testament to be able to play it and to enjoy the game. So it was really enjoyable. I loved how the cards, you really have to interact. Yeah, you really have to pick and choose what you're going to do. I got down to the last round, and I realized that one of my cards disabled one of my best cards, and there's nothing I could do about it. But you get it because it has good points. Right. And you have to figure out, is this really the best move, or is something else the best move?
That is the question that you ask yourself so much in this game, because the cards do so many different things, and there's 5 options in front of you, and the cards are getting swapped out after everyone picks, and so
you have to make that decision from the very first card you chose. The first card that I chose was a very high value card, and I was like, okay, but I knew that it did something.
So she's talking about one card in particular that gives you a lot of points, but at the expense of losing points if you hold on to too many cards.
Depending on how many cards you have. And it ended up I think at the end of it gave me like a fourth of the points that it should have, because I subtracted so many.
Just didn't play it the right way.
But you have to make that decision from card 1.
But that's the thing with this game. The cards are designed in such a way that this game can go about 150 million different ways. And depending on the cards you draft, the cards that are shown to you when it's your turn, I mean, this game is not going to play out the same no matter how many times you play it or how many people you play it with. Every game is going to be different. The scoring is going to just be completely different. And I was blown away by how thematic the game feels. You know, Sam, you mentioned that you don't really need to know anything about the Old Testament in order to play this game or enjoy it. But if you do know the characters, each card is specific to that character's personality and how they're described in scripture. And I thought that was tremendous with this game, because it just brings the game to life, seeing these characters with their quirks and their abilities and how they kind of operate. It was just really fascinating. Let's talk about the gameplay with this one, Sam. You as a non-gamer, was this one that was easy for you to understand? Was it easy for you to kind of get into and find your way as how to kind of make points happen?
It was a really easy game. I think the hardest part is just there's decisions to be made. I mean, you only have, what was it, 5 cards?
Yeah, you only have 5 cards to choose from.
And so, but each round, it's not super quick because you have to think through each one. Okay, I can get this one, but that affects this card, and that card affects that card. So if this one's disabled, then that's how, I mean, it's math.
There's a lot of dominoes falling in this game because you're exactly right. If I take this card, then that's going to cause this to happen, and I don't want that to happen, so I need to take this card. But wait a second. Then I'm going to miss out on this. And there's a lot of that going on with this game.
I think it's the missing out that is the hardest part. Because you're like, oh, that's so many points, but I'm not guaranteed to get the card that needs to go with it.
But what that does, guys, that that's what entices you to want to keep playing this game. This is definitely a game that you're going to play and then immediately you're going to say, wait a second, I want to try that again.
I can do better.
I can do better. And so this game has a lot of replayability and instant replayability. What I mean by that is you'll instantly want to play this again and again and again. Not, that was good and we might play it again 3 months down the road. No, you're going to be wanting to play this 3 seconds after you're done with it.
And I really like those type of games, and I think that they're really good for non-gamers.
Yeah.
It's really easy to understand and really easy to play and super enjoyable to play, and the game in itself doesn't take too long.
Right.
So it's easy to say, okay, you got it now, let's play it again.
And quite honestly, this game takes 30 seconds to learn.
Yeah.
I mean, the mechanics are so simple. You're just simply drafting a card, and it's just understanding what's on those cards and what they do.
How they affect each other.
Right. So, Sam, being a non-gamer, is this one that you would recommend playing with non-gamers?
Yeah, I think it's a great one.
Yeah, I would absolutely agree with that, guys. I think this is an excellent family game. This is an excellent game for people who are knowledgeable about the Old Testament or the Bible. But even if you're not, this is going to be one that is going to be just a fantastic experience all around. It's quite stunning how they can take such a simple concept and make such a vast experience from that. That just the simple drafting. You're just drafting one card. It's the simplest of mechanics, but they do a very good job with this. So that is from Funhill Games. That is OT Fantasy Draft. As I mentioned, it is on Kickstarter, so make sure to check out that Kickstarter campaign link down below in the description of this video.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button so you get notifications of all our new content.
I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.